So what are some of the influences on math? Mindset is one. Changing the way that students feel about math is important. But to do that, you have to get the teachers to encourage the students about their potential growth. Another math influence is professional organisations. From my personal view, I think they need to encourage students, not just the ones who are brilliant, but the ones that are struggling too. Show them different ways that math can be done. Encourage them. Another way to influence math is writing. Students who may not be great at math may have an easier time writing out their math. Writing it out in words. Everyone learns differently, and maybe some students will just be better at writing their math out and learning that way. Trends. Math has changed and continues to change. The world sees math differently than it did 20 years ago when I was a teenager. There are a lot more opportunities for students to access math in various ways. Some they don't even realize they're practicing math. Computer games, computer programs, handheld manipulators, and teaching opportunities that make the student feel encouraged and positive about their learning. Another influence on math is philosophies. There are two views on math. One, math is obsolete. The results are certain and unchangeable. That's it. Once the answer is found, that is it. Two, math is fallibilistic in that there is always a place for math review and corrections. I believe in this day and time, number two is the philosophy that most people are using. Sure, there's an answer out there, but what happens if? Why does it be like that? There are no absolutes anymore. The beauty of math video shows us that math is all around us, whether we see it or not. From a snowflake, which has perfect symmetry, to a spinning top and how it spins. Most of us, when we think of math, think of numbers on a page, formulas, E equals X, Y to the power of 2. And for many, that can be quite daunting. But it doesn't need to be. And this video shows us that we need to understand that math is all around us, and it's really not as scary as it seems. The second video that I've included is the TED Talks video on math potential. And the presenter talks about how teachers need to find the potential in their students. They need to open up ways for students to become excited about math and how interesting math can be. Again, it's just not always just numbers on a page. Both of them open up ideas to exploring math in different ways. Okay, so how do I feel about math? In all honesty, math is not my favorite subject. I would say that I have not had any real positives towards math. When I was a teenager, I had no teachers, anything that would positively reinforce how good math could be or help me when I was struggling. The biggest problem when I was in 11th grade and I was struggling with algebra. I had no idea. I could have been in a foreign language class for all it mattered. And I would continuously raise my hand asking the teacher for help. And he would just give me the answer. And that was it. Which really didn't help me because I had no idea how he got to the answer. And then I would ask him if he could show me on my calculator. And so he'd quickly do it and say, there you are. And I learned nothing from that process. The second influence is my daughter, believe it or not. She loves math. She is 9. And she uses a lot of manipulatives. She writes her answers out. And I'm really happy that she enjoys math and proud of her that she enjoys math and understands it in a way that I can't. I'm hoping in this course I will learn some tricks of the trade, basically, how to get through my issues of not understanding math. And hopefully I will be able to teach other students how to get over their fear and dislike of math as well. So the first article I looked at, Women and Mathematics, Stereotypes, Identity and Achievement. In this article, it talked about how women feel that they have to change who they are as a woman in order to fit in to the world of math, predominantly dominated by men. For example, they have to dress conservatively, can't talk about women's things, and the biggest thing is that they can't talk about wanting a family and having children. The next point that I found interesting relates to women in high school and college and being influenced by the stereotype that men are better than women at math. In fact, a survey showed that 40% of respondents believe that men are better at math than women, and less than 1% reported in this survey that women are actually better. So in the next article I looked at, Influences on Mathematics Education, there was 2 particular points that interested me. The first one was on learner influencers. It was interesting to note some of the differences that begin as early as late elementary school, in showing that girls have less confidence in math, even when they have equal ability, and girls are more likely to attribute their success to hard work, whereas boys attribute their success to their own ability. And there shows that there's differences in performance levels as well. Boys tend to score higher on high-level thinking tasks, and girls on facts and computation items. And the causes of this? There is nothing. There's no conclusive evidence that genetic factors cause these observed differences. The second item that I want to look at was teacher influences and what role they play in influencing students to study and do well. There has been a thinking that it's up to the students to construct their own mathematical knowledge. It's not, and the teacher just sit back and watch. No, it's actually the teacher who must actively observe and listen to the children as they engage. And the teacher must be skilled in detecting seeds of mathematical concepts and providing experiences that will enable those seeds to grow into mature understandings. The next article I looked at was called "Why Should Students Write in Math Class?" This article looks at how, instead of writing number problems on a page, students are encouraged to use their writing skills to write, explain, and solve mathematical problems using words. The first item from the article that was of interest to me was how writing math changes the way math is conceived by the student. Flexibility and fluency in ideas indicate that students are able to approach problems in unique ways and generate multiple ideas for the same problem. Mathematically creative writing also includes students elaborating on their ideas by writing extensions of their understandings and creating and developing mathematical generalizations. The other item that I found to be interesting in this article was addressing who the audience is that the students are writing for. Students may not be as explicit or precise in their writing if they think the teacher is the one who is going to correct and read their work. If students are told that they are writing for their peers, their classmates, they may be more inclined to ensure that the readers understand their points. The tone, clarity, and organizations of their writing might be even more polished when the audience is more authentic and includes people outside of their classroom, such as other teachers, parents, or even community leaders.